Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the 11th episode for The Walking Dead Season 8. In this one, first, we're going to give our thoughts on the kind of fan theory or possibility that Jadis could become Alpha. And spoiler warning, of course, as per usual, if you guys have not seen episode 10 for The Walking Dead Season 8 yet. So going into episode 11, thought we would add a little red to this one since it is fitting after seeing what happened to the Junkyard group and Jadis in episode 10. So this is kind of the most common question so far for this week after episode 10. If you guys haven't seen, I'll put the links to the review for episode 10 as well as my predictions for episode 11 in the description below, so you can check those out. So for this one, will Jadis become Alpha? A few people asked this one. Rebecca Byam said, Trev, do you think Jadis may become Alpha? And then EvilestBadger said, what if Jadis could become the TV show's version of Alpha? Could she end up somehow recruiting the Oceanside or something, combining both of their hatred for both Rick and Negan to start a new group, the Whispers? And there is kind of some people have kind of sent through questions about maybe her using, because she's like an artist and this kind of thing, and you've got kind of this ground up, zombie, guts and just mass everywhere. Meat, I suppose, at this point, as gross as that sounds, but that's what she has kind of everywhere. So maybe painting herself or something, I don't know. We're going to have to see what they do with that one, but maybe something will come from it. Either way, I am intrigued to see what the show does with Jadis in the future, and whether or not she's going to be either a villain in the series, or if she'll be, I guess an ally of the joint survivors, and also whether or not she's going to come back in this season by the end. If I have to do a prediction, I'd kind of say maybe not. Maybe we won't see her again this year. After what happened to her in episode 10, and that she might come back in later. Because there's a couple of characters this year we still haven't seen, like, for example, Sherry and Heath. Neither one of them have returned, but we have heard that we're going to see Heath at some point, and we're getting pretty close to the end of the season. We have 6 episodes left, so we'll probably be seeing Heath within the next few, or maybe at the very latest in maybe the finale or the lead-up episode to the finale. But whether or not it would fit for Jadis to become Alpha, I don't see it. I really don't see it. I mean, she's lost basically everything now, so she could have a pretty interesting story arc later on, and her maybe be some kind of a villain, possibly her want to get retribution for her people, but possibly an antagonist to Rick, because when she was in her moment of need, and he did, I would say unrightfully so, shoot her off like she was some kind of animal or something. And I think even Michonne, with a line she said to Rick afterwards, kind of felt like, would Carl have wanted you to do that? And this is kind of what Rick had done before with Siddiq. And if he had not have done that with Siddiq, Carl would probably be still alive if he had not tried to kind of shoo him off type of thing, and he'd actually allow Carl, maybe give him a chance, bring him in, see if he could be useful or not. But instead he didn't do that. He kind of treated Jadis the same way in episode 10 as he did with Siddiq earlier on. So we could see her return to possibly blame Rick for what happened and maybe want revenge against him. So that could be kind of cool if they do something like that. But do I see her as a possible kind of TV series version of Alpha? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think with 16 episodes a season, with so many different locations, there's room for her to be her own stand-alone character for the TV series that was never in the comic book series. I hope they have some idea in mind of what they'll do with her in the future. If they were going to have her commit suicide, which I almost thought they were going to do near the end of that episode 10, I would think that they would do it already, or would have done it already. So I think we will see her again, maybe in season 9 or maybe later on from that. But what they do with her is going to be remains to be seen, because who knows, but I lean probably more towards a villain after what Rick kind of did in the end there, not even allowing her to have a chance to come with them, which I do think, wouldn't you feel sorry? Rick's just been through a lot, so we can't really blame Rick for not allowing her to come with him, but I would think that, given that she's lost everything and that she kind of tried to help Rick and the others there, and she went with him to the sanctuary, he's kind of looking at her like she's useless to them now. maybe blaming her a little bit for what happened and how she lost everybody, because Rick and the others could have really used those people to fight. But at the same time, she's also a person in a friend in need is a friend indeed. I mean, he didn't help her. He just, kind of was like, screw you type of thing. You're no use to us. And that's not something somebody's going to forget in their moment of dire need like that, in like the worst moment ever. She probably didn't want to have to meat grind up all her people. Granted, leaving them there as zombies is not great either, but she was she was in a bad state, and they didn't help. So I don't think this is a setup for us to see her become the TV series version of Alpha. I really don't think so. But I think that she will probably come back into the story later on, and I am intrigued to see what they do with her, because I do think she could make for some kind of cool villain. And I think that with her kind of her angle or artistic kind of style and the way she does things like that, it could be interesting to see what she can come up with on her own now. If she might create some kind of, I don't know, zombie body armor, something like this. Maybe use the guts for something on herself. I don't know what she's going to be able to come up with, but it could be kind of cool to see. So, gear up some zombies, create a super zombie army with all their, junk that she's got around. Could be kind of cool. So we'll have to see what they do with her in the future, but I don't see this as a origin setup for Alpha, even though there is a time skip. And, I don't think there's enough time to kind of fit to have her build up a whole group. We've seen some things for the Whisperers already, and I'm expecting to see kind of a lead-in for them pretty soon, some kind of Easter eggs and getting things set up near the end of the season for that. I think that naturally there isn't enough time to really make that feel like a smooth transition for her, since she's just lost everything. To have to rebuild everything right away, it just doesn't seem right, even though there is a time skip, so I guess it's possible. But write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think they're going to do. Just in general with Jadis. What will they do with Jadis now? Will she come back in the story? Do you think she'll fade? Or do you think that she could still be an ally and could join the rest of the group in fighting against the Saviors by the end of the season? Let me know what you guys think. Next question is from Breaking Bad 1009, who says, maybe this is premature, but after this episode, I'm looking forward to what Angela Kang can bring as a showrunner. She understands how to let characters have dialogue. The walkie-talkie scene was great. And that's, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. If you guys missed the video, I did do a video on this one on kind of what The Walking Dead will look like. I'll put it in the end screen videos for you guys here. In Season 9 and going onward, because she's taking over as showrunner. When you look at all of her episodes, and each showrunner kind of has their own style and has their own things that really stick out to me. But as I said in that video, which I think is a good video, if you haven't seen it, you should watch it, because she's taken over, so it's going to be a different feel for Walking Dead. But right now, I stand by that I think the thing that she does best, or the thing that stands out to me most out of the episodes that she's written in the series, all throughout the series, because she's written lots of them. We have a lot of her work we can look at to get an idea of what Season 9 will look like. To me, it seems like she does character relationships and dialogue best. Interpersonal relationships best is kind of the thing that she does best in the series. Some of the standout moments, like when Rick calls Daryl his brother. That's one of her episodes, so that's A, right? And there's many others as well too. So I think that's the thing that she does best. And based on the feedback for this episode, what I'm seeing from you guys is you guys really like that. A lot of you guys are really looking forward to Season 9, because a lot of you guys really like that she puts the heart back into it with regard as a community feel. I feel like earlier on in the series, Frank Darabont and kind of the way they did Shane with Rick and the others, it was really great, a character focus. Scott Gimple and what he did with that. But with her, she kind of really has a great emphasis on the community part of it, with how the different characters interact together, rather than just like, okay, you've got this character and he has this development, here's not here from Morgan, and this is what happened with him, this is what happened with him. That kind of way of kind of looking at things and his development. The way she does things in her episodes, at least the way I see it, is she kind of does it more of a mesh. I'm a visual mathematician, intelligence type. When I do IQ tests, they tell me that. Growing up, I remember that from growing up. So that's kind of the way I see things, like nodes and things like that, and math and things like that. So, but the way she kind of looks at things, the way her strength, I suppose, or the thing that stands out to me the most of her style versus a lot of the others, is that it's very focused on kind of big payoff moments and, a lot of dialogue, yes, very good dialogue, but definitely how the characters relate to each other, how they feel about each other. And the walkie-talkie scene at the end of this episode is a perfect example of probably what we're going to see more going forward. So it depends. If you like that, if you're into that, and that's kind of what you think is part, maybe the best part of Walking Dead, is the community aspect, the character development with regards to each other, and how they all kind of interact together, and their relationships, their connections to each other. If you like that, you're probably going to love season 9. So yeah, watch this episode again if you guys want to see it. I mean, she didn't write the episode by herself. There was a couple people, 3 people I think, who wrote the episode, including her. But I think this episode stands as a good marker for what you probably can expect to see season 9 and the future episodes look like. And, you can watch a few of her different episodes if you want to. The wiki has her listed for all the episodes that she did. But, a lot of people are really looking forward to it because they really like this episode a lot, and they like that kind of style. So if you do, you're probably going to love Season 9 and going forward with her as showrunner for The Walking Dead. The dialogue is definitely, again, her dialogue is probably some of the best in the whole series, and the way she develops character relationships is probably better than anybody else in the show, I would say, for sure. That's her strength. I think that's her biggest strength. I'm Joker28 says, Q&A Trev, do you think Talking Dead will ever have their own DVD set? Probably not. So that's a good question from Joker20. I don't know if he's joking or not, but I thought I'd throw it in there. I don't think so. I don't think you could buy Talking Dead on DVD, can you? Who knows? With the amount of products they have nowadays for Walking Dead, it wouldn't surprise me if you could, but I don't, even as hardcore of a Walking Dead fan as I am, I don't know if I would buy Talking Dead. Sometimes it's really cool to have when you have important episodes and that, to see them kind of give you a little bit more about the episodes, what they were going for, whoever's happens to be on Talking Dead. But I don't think they would ever, have an offering like that. Really, I don't. Ryan Brannigan says, time to read about how The Walking Dead is falling from grace and will never be what it was. That's true. That's like a couple season thing going right now, right, Ryan? Like, that's like 2 years of ever since the season 7, a premiere. That's like a weekly thing, right? Pariah Sojourner says, I'm pretty intrigued by how what they were doing with the Jada storyline. It was nice to see her begin talking normally now that she's a broken person. She's alone, rejected by both the survivors and the saviors. What will happen to her next? And that's true. That's something that I forgot to mention, or then forget. The review is almost 20 damn minutes. So, but I can't make like hour-long reviews. I could probably talk for an hour of every episode, but I don't know if you guys would watch it. So that's my fear. If I just go into detail about everything, I don't think you guys would even want to watch it at that point. But with that one, that's a good call. It's probably something we should touch on, which is that she does start speaking normally in this episode after she loses everything. So, Scott Gibble is kind of set on Talking Dead. There's a good one for Talking Dead right there, that they don't give, like, he kind of explains. So there's a part where Talking Dead is really good, is where he explains in that Talking Dead episode he was on kind of why they don't talk too much and they don't give anything away. And that's because they don't really give the other groups here much information about them, because they know that it gives away powers. You get information about a group, know your enemy. If you become enemies with that person, the more you give them as far as information goes, the more power they have over you, or the better their chances are of defeating you. So they don't give up a whole lot, right? They don't bother. They kind of have their own motto and everything. So yeah, man, you got to feel for Jadis after she just lost everything. Certainly sympathetic towards her and what's happened to her. They're not the toughest group, and that's something I also wanted to say in the review, but I forgot, is that if anybody thinks this wasn't realistic, what happened in this episode with Simon, I think it certainly was. I don't think that the Junkyard group, they seem tough at first, but when you see Rick sway them and them getting swayed back and forth between the survivors and the saviors and not being on anyone's side, just kind of going for whatever, they are a strange group, or they were a strange group, and they are not the toughest group. So for Simon to take them all out like that, full sweep without losing anybody, it really, I felt like it was very within character for them, because they're not the toughest group. Rick was able to kind of sway them pretty easily there in, to fight alongside him in the first half of season 8. So yeah, they're not. So, but it was cool to see her kind of break down and kind of just, forget about the whole thing, and there being no point for her to kind of do that anymore, just kind of emotionally just speaking like a normal person to show that she can, which is kind of cool. And we did kind of hear a little bit about their backstory in this episode as well, too. So it was a good episode for the Junkyard Group, and it was probably the last episode for the Junkyard Group, unless you can somehow reform the group or something. I wouldn't be surprised if she left the Junkyard after this. It might be too painful for her to kind of stay there. Jakub Schmerderman says, did you see the actor for Ezekiel post a picture of Lauren Cohen on Instagram saying, "Pay the woman"? No, I didn't see that. So that's cool, Jakub, and you guys can check that out if you want to. Is it Kari Payton? Is he the actor who plays, I'm just going on memory here, I think that's it, plays Ezekiel. And that's kind of cool if he's trying to talk AMC into getting Maggie to come back in the show, pay her so that she'll come back, and hopefully he's right, hopefully that helps, and hopefully they will. So we'll see what happens with that, but that's kind of cool that he did that, so if that's true. Mina says, love seeing Jeff Kober on the Red Machete shorts, and that's true. He was in this one as well too, and there was a Fear teaser too. Did you guys see that one? And it looks quite a bit different. It's like a new Fear of the Walking Dead, which is pretty neat. So I did like that. Jeff Kober for the Red Machete part. Yeah, it's cool to see him kind of come back. Just even if it's for a few quick clips here and there. But I'm not sure because his time is already over, so it's kind of like a flashback type of situation with Red Machete. But it'd be cool if they could ever have like one where, I don't know if they could have it kind of sink into The Walking Dead, but I even forget when the first time was Rick picked up that machete. Like, I forget when it just was. If it was at the prison or if it was somewhere else. I don't even remember when he first got the Red Machete, so I'm just not even sure. And the last one will be from CT, who says, can't wait to see the reaction from Negan when he finds out about the garbage people. And that's true. He must find out somehow. They paid attention to the blue, right, on Simon's shoe, and also with Rick as well, too. So we're going to have to see with that one. How is Negan going to find out about what happened with the garbage people? What's he going to do if he finds out before the war's over? Is he going to out Simon? Is he going to kill him? What's he going to do? We're going to have to see how that all fits in. But I think he will find out, and I can't wait to see his reaction either, because that's certainly not what he wanted to do, for Simon to do, and it does a lot of things for Negan as well too. It kind of humanizes him a little bit more, so he doesn't seem like such a bad villain, and it kind of makes it seem like Simon is quite a bit worse than Negan, really, when you look at it. So, but that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. Keep sending me your questions if you want to see another one tomorrow, and if you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, subscribe at the bottom, leave a comment on how you felt about the feel of episode 10, and how you feel about The Walking Dead going into season 9. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. I'll see you soon.